a report came out that more cities than expected will be affected by climate change by 2050. And if your politics is similar to mine, you already know the consequences and how devastating climate change is and is going to be over the next coming decades. Now, that's not the reason I made this video. I made this video because I want to talk about how important it is to communicate the right message and frame it. So, when I was a kid, we always talked about pollution, we talked about acid rain, we talked about the hole in the ozone layer, and it was kind of drilled into me that, okay, pollution is bad and it's bad for the earth. Now, when the issue of global warming started to come up, I feel like environmentalists, people on the left, the Democratic Party got way too technical with it. When debates about climate change came about, it was always about, okay, the earth is warming up due to fossil fuels and this is bad, and it was so far off. I think it was hard for people to even envision what some of these people was talking about. I think a better strategy would have been just linking it to pollution and just be like, okay, this is just another form of pollution, and the pollution is getting worse, and this is the consequences of pollution. Because I think a lot of people could have understood that. People understood smog. People understood that how certain chemicals being let into the atmosphere was affecting the health of people. I think that would have been a much better strategy than just going the technical route. And I see that with a lot of issues. It's good to study issues and you should know the details. I'm not saying don't do that because I do that myself. Read, study, know the details. However, you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you can't relay that back to people, what's good is it? Because you're not going to convince people to come to your side. You have to know how to convey your message, especially with something like politics. And we have to work on how we frame issues. Meet people where they at. Don't go over their heads. Like, if they need it broken down, break it down for them. Like, you can do that without being condescending too. See where they at with it and find a way in their own language to relate the issue to them. That's what you have to do. For example, like, I talk to a lot of black people, and we have so many issues in our community that we have to focus on. We have police violence. We have, black millennials dealing with a ton of student loan debt, even higher than, our white counterparts. So we have so many issues that sometimes when you talk to people about climate change, it's like, you know, I'm not concerned about that. I gotta live right now. But when you attach that to pollution and how it affects our community, you'll get better results. For example, just be like, look at Flint. That's an environmental issue. They didn't care about the environment. People got poisoned because of that. Look at all the lead around our communities nationwide because it wasn't just Flint. So it directly affects you. It directly affects our community. And you can do that with any group. You got to make it relate to them. But we get too technical. We think there's this one approach to all people. No, we have specific problems. Like if you talk about rural right areas, climate change will affect them in a different type of way. If you talk about rural areas like farming, like certain crops, people base their whole livelihood on. If the temperature warm up a little bit, those crops might disappear. That's how you gotta speak to them. You gotta talk to them directly in a language that they will understand and make them care about. Because unfortunately, sometimes us as human beings don't look to the future. A lot of times we want to know, especially you having a hard time surviving, if you having a hard time just paying your rent from month to month, it's going to be hard to look 30 years down the line. Even though we should, but, we struggling to survive right now. That's why framing is important. So in the future, don't let other important issues go like the climate change debate went for decades about us being too technical and not attachment to an issue that people understand. So, like what I'm saying, subscribe, like the video, share. Definitely trying to grow the channel. Thank you for watching. Peace.